Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad, episode number 207. I want more. This is Catholic Dad just being honest and open with you about that I actually want more as a Catholic dad, as a father of 9 children, as a spiritual leader of my family, as somebody that's willing to die and fight for my wife and my children. That I actually want more. And so, here I am, post-Vatican II Catholic that was raised as a cradle Catholic. Didn't really rediscover my faith until I went to the Tridentine Rite, the traditional Latin Mass. While I was there, it was wonderful. It was great, with the exception of a lot of the traditionalists tend to be low on hope. They really do. They tend to be kind of negative, pessimistic, kind of mad at the church, and I would not call them obedient sons and daughters of the church. I just say they complain too damn much. Here I am, I moved out to a job, kind of economic migration. I've had a good job. I've supported 9 kids, and I go to the Novus Ordo because it's what is available. But I kind of want more options. I want something different a little bit. I want the traditionalist liturgy. I do, with the Novus Ordo hope and optimism. I don't want the despair. I don't want the anger. I don't want the difficulties of being Latin Mass. Like, you have to be kind of annoyed and persnickety about the liturgy, about how fallen the world is, how nothing's right, Vatican II is horrible. Take that out. I kind of want the church ladies and all the people of the Novus Ordo that everybody thinks they're going to heaven, right? The hope and optimism that, hey, Jesus is in charge. He's the risen Lord and Savior. No matter what happens, he's going to win. I want the liturgy. I want the liturgy, the old liturgy. I kind of want the Mass of Pius V. But I want the hope and optimism of the post-Vatican II crowd. That's a tall order, really. Do you believe it's possible? I think it's possible, frankly. I think I'm kind of stuck in the middle of this whole thing. I want some young priest to step up, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 young priests to step up, learn the Tridentine Rite with, they're well-oriented. They're not the post-Vatican II crowd, but they're kind of the new priests that are doing it for their love of Christ, period, right? They don't have any kind of alternative motives. And they learn the Tridentine Rite, and they say it out of just complete charity. Like, here we go, let's just say the Mass, we're going there, the music's going to be beautiful, we're going to have some Gregorian chant, maybe even somebody bring in a little mobile organ, that we can actually have the organ again. That's my hope and my wish. I think it's going to happen. I feel it. And I suspect, by the way, that if a young, noble priest, somebody that, here's the deal. I think it has to be a young priest because their minds are still good. They're sharp. Young minds are malleable. They can actually figure things out. They can learn the Latin Mass. They can actually change directions at a whim. They're like a young puppy dog, frankly. And you throw a ball for them, they're gonna want it. They're gonna go run for it, and they're gonna bring it right back to you. And so the parishioners are dying. They're dying for more traditionalism, and but they're also not dying for less hope. They kind of want the more hope. And so if we could find a traditional Latin Mass community or a regular community that has a priest that says both, right? And we'll see where that goes because, I was a probability and statistics major in college. Typically what people want usually wins out, and I think if you have a happy-go-lucky priest that's as happy as a yellow lab that's just fetching a ball, I'm a priest and I want to save souls, period. That's all I want to do. I'm very happy and I just want to please you and I want to do what's right. And they learn the Latin Mass. I think we can actually convert a lot of souls. We can actually draw some divides. We can heal some divides between the traditionalist communities and the Novus Ordo communities, and we can actually bring them together where, we don't have to be miserable. We don't have to say, we're downtrodden and we're a traditional community, and by the way, we're completely happy, joy, everybody's going to heaven community. We can actually have some real hard, difficult conversations about Christianity where the sacraments are hard, being Catholic's hard, being a traditional father's hard, being a traditional mother's hard, and these things are hard, but you know what? we're all in this game together, baby. And if we do that, all the hope rises. Because if we're in this game together, everybody's at a different season in their life. I'm Catholic Dad. I have, I'm kind of naturally high. I'm pretty energetic and I like doing things. Sometimes I'm feeling down, because the wife's sick or you're sick, you're not feeling well. And then if you can have a whole bunch of people like that, where you can have people that are generally up, supporting one another in this game called the Catholic Church or Christianity or whatever you want to call it. We need the traditionalists. We need them to come in, and we need the Novus Ordo hope, because maybe it's a false hope. I don't even know, but it makes you feel good, frankly. And so I'm calling on all young priests to learn the traditional Latin Mass, the Mass of Pius V. Do it. Because if you do that and you quietly say it, hey, I'm going to come over and say it for you, just do it. Because you know what? I bet you, I can almost guarantee you, bridges will build, and then we'll go in that direction, the direction of unity within the church. Because the traditionalists they're the minority. They're kind of the bedrock of the church. They hold things up, and then the Novus Ordo people coming in and out of the church, whatever else, feels good. But all that being said is they have the Eucharist, we have the Eucharist, everybody has the Eucharist. And so let's bring that together. And so we need some young, mobile priests, learn the Latin Mass and start saying it more frequently. Just do it. If you do that, I kind of guarantee you're going to start seeing people come together, and you're going to start seeing people kind of bind together as a community. And so this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. I want more. I want young priests to say both masses, and I want to let people decide. You just go, you do what you need to do, and it might surprise you. People might actually, the church might change, and we might be more united in the future. This is Catholic Dad making you think about it. God bless.